better as the season goes along. Anybody that says you don't is a fool. So we're focused on getting better in all those areas.
Coach, how would you evaluate the play of your interior defensive line, and what would you like to see moving forward from those guys?
I think you guys heard me say it last week when I said the defensive line, like, it's not a thinking man's position. It's a get off the ball, create a new line of scrimmage, get off blocks, make tackles, be disruptive. I think sometimes at times we were a little bit too fit oriented, meaning like, am I in the right place? Or maybe the processing wasn't going as fast, but your D-line has got to be a bunch of guys that just freaking go and think about things later. And I don't mean play reckless. I'm just talking about getting off the ball, creating a new line of scrimmage, and I think that's something we're going to be preaching with all of our front guys from now until the final game of the season.
On that D-line, Riley Van Poppel's a guy we heard about a lot in the spring and the offseason, got a single digit. What do you need to see more from him to take it to the next level?
I think it just comes down to three things. It comes down to, is he playing as hard as he thinks he can? And then we got to make sure if that's how hard you think you can play, we're going to get you to play harder. Physicality at the line of scrimmage, getting off blocks. I think with all of these guys, we're not singling out anybody. You just happen to ask about one of them. That's to me where our biggest step in week to week has got to be, from week 1 to week 2, is our ability to get off the ball and get off blocks. Because that's what really the run game is all about. Whatever call that's made, it's getting your hands on the blocker, getting off the blocker, getting to the ball carrier. So that's I think something we're going to be emphasizing with our front 7, really the front 6.
What jumped out about Donovan Jones to just, I know you kind of moved him at safety at one point, then moved him back to corner. His ability to kind of move around and just adapt to wherever he is.
Well, the first thing, when we're evaluating players at each position, we want big, fast, physical, and tough. And that's what he is. I mean, he's a 200-pound corner. He tackles like a linebacker. He's got a processing element to him that he plays fast, that he plays well in games. So you're able to play a kid like that at corner for however many snaps he played. And then at dime, he's covering their best receiver in the slot. So I just think that when we're evaluating the players we want to put on the field, coaches talked about find the winners and get them on the field. Well, we feel like we have 2 pretty good corners in Sierra and Marshall. So we think Donnie's one of those guys that's a winner. So just like Marshall and Sierra, I think they're 3 of our better players on defense. And so if you only have 2 positions, it's your job as a coach to find a way to get that guy on the field. So we're going to constantly be trying to figure out whoever those players are that play well and practice well week to week. The system's going to evolve, and it's going to be built around the players that are playing hard, that are playing physical, that are executing at a high level, that are doing it for their teammates. And thankfully, I'm experienced enough that our system's going to be built around them. It's not going to be pigeonholed into, this is what we do, and we're going to evolve to having who we think are the best 11 players on the field, and that's a process that we're still working through. And Donnie obviously has shown to be capable to be one of those players.
I just feel like your linebackers play. Do you consider Singleton a linebacker, or is he still kind of a safety? He's playing down.
He's a safety, but obviously we use it systematically, whether it's Deshaun or Marquise or whoever it is. We're going to get and need sometimes that extra player in the box at the second level, which you could characterize, he's in the safety room, but he's a second level player, so he's got to understand linebacker play. I think that each one of those guys, obviously, Javen made a huge play on the screen right before half, and then Vincent Shavers made a game-changing play that set up a touchdown, gave our offense a short field, and our offense turned it into 7 points. That's a huge play before the half that, as we talk about winning the middle 8 all the time, so we got to stop in 2 minutes, and our offense got the ball back to start the half. So I think those 2 guys, in terms of the plays that they made, the run game fits, and the consistency in the run game just needs to keep coming. But obviously there's two winning plays in that regard.
I know you guys preach next play mentality. Is what Malcolm did, is that the ultimate teach tape in that, getting the penalty and then?
Yeah, I think it is, in that you got the penalty. He also, he got beat on a cover 5 early. I mean, in that drive, and you just got to keep playing, and winning is hard no matter what. Everybody thinks winning is just about magic. There's a certain team that always should beat this team, and that's just not how college football works, especially when you've had the whole offseason to prepare for a ball game. So you have to play each play as it is for that play, and knowing that I'm just going to put myself in position. And then he did a great job of disguising him, did a great job of I don't want to say use the word baiting, but forcing the quarterback to throw the ball where he didn't want to. And then when he did that, now you still got to go and make the play. How many times have you seen it where guys have put themselves in the position over the weekend to make the play and the ball's dropped and then the outcome totally changes? So, I think, yes, that's a great testament that at the end of the day, once that play's over, you move on to the next one. And we can learn from that too. I definitely can learn from that. Sometimes I hang on a call that I didn't like, that I made, or, a result of a play sometimes irritates me. It's just in my nature. But we all got to keep working on that next play and remaining neutral and putting ourselves in position to win the next play.
How did you, when you look back at that game, you look at that, they turned up the tempo late. What was your assessment of that and how you guys reacted?
I think our overall assessment of the game is that, I think I mentioned it to you guys last week, early on, can they block us? Early on, can we cover them? Early on, can we tackle them? I knew right away that we could cover them. I had concerns because there was mentions about all these new transfer wideouts and who are they, where they come from, and we saw them on tape, but we don't know until we play them. I felt pretty consistent. We could cover them. We could affect the quarterback with our coverage. Tackling them, we tackled their backs and the receivers better as the game got along. And then the biggest concern, as I think I mentioned to you last week, was the quarterback just turning the game into like a high school football game, which that's no criticism of him. But in the second half, I think he realized that, however many yards they had, they didn't have many. And he said, I'm going to get back there, and if a guy I'm looking at's open, I'm going to throw it to him. If not, I'm taking off, which is what he did. And so that's a hard thing to manage. We got to be more disciplined in our rush lanes. I could be more helpful in how I was calling the game, maybe adding a fifth rusher. So in that regard, I think that's kind of how the game evolved. It was a weird second half in that they had 0 explosive plays in the whole game except for the 29-yard scramble, which is a key factor in winning. We had 2 takeaways. They had none, which is a huge factor in winning. Some of those leaky rush yards were quarterback driven, which when you do the math, when the quarterback runs, that means you're post safety or somebody else has got to get involved or somebody's got to whip somebody's tail and get off a block. And that's the next step for us. So that second half was just a little weird in that there was really no rhythm or vibe to the game. It was really just a quarterback getting the ball and him kind of freelancing. I was joking with a friend of mine. It reminded me of my old teammate, Jack Stanzak from LaSalle. He would just catch the ball, and he was a better athlete than everybody, so he just would run and get 200 yards rushing, and we'd win the game, and I'd be like, what is that? So that was kind of how that game was. I thought that kid was a great competitor, was big, strong, and we just made one more play at the end to win the game.
Coach, you'll be home until October 11th.
Right.
How big will that be just for this defense to have the home crowd? You had the crowd lift you at times before false start penalties.
Yeah, I think obviously the crowd helped us in that game on third down specifically, in that it put them behind the chains a little further than they were on third down, which then allowed us to adjust our call. 3rd and 4 is a much harder down to call than 3rd and 9. And then I've been in this environment just one time, and I was fortunate enough to be in an environment in Buffalo where the home crowd really, really helps the defense. But at the end of the day, we just have to focus on doing our job and not really play to the crowd, because the better you play, the more plays you make, the harder you play, the more physical you play, the more better you execute. The crowd's going to be behind you the whole time, and you're going to have that at your disposal. So we want the crowd to be as loud as possible, especially on third down, to force that quarterback, whoever the quarterback is, to execute and communicate and to allow us to play to our strengths, which is rushing and coveraging.
How do you balance making the adjustments that you need against the things that hurt you in that game, considering that you probably aren't going to see a whole lot of quarterbacks who are that aggressive with their feet moving forward?
Right. I think we have to. So football is a game of what does the opponent do on the film, and then it's also a component of what does offenses do against us. And offensive coordinators, usually the ones that I've been around, the first thing they look at when they play a defense is they go, let me see the explosive plays they gave up. Let me see the touchdowns they gave up. Let me see the third down convert, whatever it is. And they will put that play in if they don't have it, or if they have it, they'll put it to the top of their chart. So quarterback, what are you going to tell the quarterback? Hey, listen, guys, when nobody's open, just take off and scramble, because they had 90-something yards in quarterback scrambles. So we have to be alert that mobile quarterbacks are going to take off. And this quarterback we're playing this week, while not doing it last week a lot, if you look at his film in previous places and his previous year's film, he will run. So we have to continue to make that a point of emphasis where we're going to rush like wildfire, but we have to keep the quarterback in the pocket, because when the quarterback sits in the pocket and throws the ball, like I just said, I think that's going to play to some of our strengths with our back seven and our secondary. So I think it's a balance, of what we think they're going to do based on their film against Wyoming, and then maybe some of the things they may put in wrinkle-wise that they may think hurt us, which we're always keeping that in mind.
Back to the the home stretch, just how much more helpful is it with this young defense in terms of just working on improvement, being at home, not having to worry about travel for these first few weeks?
Yeah, I think anytime you're home, you're just more comfortable, right? You know, you're staying in your own apartment, you're staying in your own home, or you're staying in your own dorm. You're not traveling, you're not in and out of an airplane or a bus and in and out of meetings on the road. I just think you get into a nice rhythm. And I think the next thing for our guys in season is getting into a routine. Players like to get into a routine of, I'm up at this time, I go to class, I go to school, come back for football, I do my treatment, and there's a rhythm to it. So if you can establish that rhythm, good players establish that routine, and they're doing the same thing every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And obviously not having to travel on Fridays helps as well. But at the end, we are just so focused on getting better at a lot of different things, the core principles of our defense, and I think that as the season goes, you're going to see that development in our guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, guys. Have a good day.
You guys can't run schemes. You can sneak your quarterback and get him killed. No, it's okay. My goal. They didn't run it.
Coach Holgorsen next, and then I think the first two players will be Deshaun Singleton and Getty for Huskers. Questions for Coach?
What was your overall assessment, Coach? Just the good, the bad, the ugly from the game on Thursday.
We won against a quality opponent. That I got a lot of respect for that program. I've competed against those guys a lot, and they're tough to beat. And they were pretty motivated to play. Okay, so that's a good quality win. All wins are hard, and that one was hard. So proud of the players. I do feel like we executed the game plan. With that structure of defense, they can frustrate you with how many people they drop and add, and I've coached against it a lot. And the biggest thing with it is you got to be patient and put the ball in play. And I felt like we were patient. And we put the ball in play. We snapped it 78 times. We made them tackle us 64 times. So that's getting us into the right runs. I thought Emmett ran the ball very hard and very well. And then Dylan with his completion percentage, putting the thing in play and making them tackle us. They did a good job of tackling us. Now, that's the lowest tackling bunch I've seen in a long time. I'm not criticizing. That's not a criticize. It's just, that's what happened when we lost Wood, and they got Ja'Cory pretty good early too, and we didn't get it what we expected to get out of Ja'Cory based on being hurt the entire game. So that was frustrating, but that's football. Heart goes out to Wood. Tough, hard-nosed player. Brought energy every day, brought work ethic every day, brought physicality every day. I feel bad for him. I feel bad for us. Because that does hurt our team, special teams wise and offense. He just did so much, and his attitude was so dang good, and his work ethic was so good. It's going to take multiple people to replace him. There's nobody on our team that can do what he does. The good news is it's football and it's opportunity. It's opportunity for some guys. We're going to rep, some people in that spot to try to get those snaps. And, it's an opportunity for a guy like Carter Nelson. It's opportunity for a guy like Ike Bozee. Those guys will eventually get there. Just it's our job to get them there as quick as possible. So, not happy with 20 points. We had 9 possessions. It was a possession-type game. The yards per play isn't what I expect. Explosive plays isn't what I expect. We're going to keep harping on that. Unfortunately, I didn't see it out there again today. You know, how do you fix that? One's the structure of the defense that we played and what the game plan was. You know, that allowed us to win. Okay. You know, but two, we gotta do a better job of blocking downfield when we get people in the open field. We gotta do a better job of blocking downfield. We gotta do a better job of staying on our feet and making people miss. We made somebody miss 6 times out of 78 times. You know, it's not, or 64 times is when they had to tackle us. So, you know, we're gonna work hard on that. You know, the last drive, I was pretty aggressive with it, just based on not wanting to hand the ball off and punt in 3 plays, you know. So I was pleased with the 3 first downs and the 5 minutes of clock, but you know, it was unfortunate that we didn't finish the 4-minute offense at the end of the game. Clearly, I would have liked to possess the ball, get another first down, you know, game over, put another 2 minutes and 30 seconds on our time of possession, which was fantastic, and make it a little less dramatic at the end, you know. So there's some things to work on.
How do you feel about the running back spot? Obviously, I mean, had the 25 carries. There wasn't much from the other guys. Is that something you're going to try to change here?
Have to. You know, the way that game was, it was close game, hard-fought game. He was rolling, man. He played his tail off. So proud of him. Ran hard, you know, was good in pass protection, was good in the passing game, minus the 1 drop, which I've never seen him drop 1 pass in practice, let alone, you know, in a game. So, you know, player of the game in my mind, you know. So, tight game. You got 2 freshmen on the sidelines. You know, we handed the ball to Isaiah twice early, and it didn't look good. He's still trying to figure things out, you know, and just with his veteran presence and the way it looked out there, he just kept going, you know. And so I don't regret that. I mean, we got to do what we got to do to win the game, you know. But yeah, that can't keep happening, you know. And so, you know, Ives got to get going, Makai's got to get going, you know. Ike will continue to improve in that area. So I don't care who we play this week, that has to change.
Who would be next up? Would it be Makai?
It would have been Makai last week, but it's all about what the tape looks like today and how they practice tomorrow and what Thursday looks like. That's going to be a constant evaluation of who's the next guy in. In that game, he was the next one in.
You said you didn't see it today, the explosive plays. Is it just a matter of making guys miss? Is it Dylan being more aggressive? I mean, he kind of played it pretty efficient.
He did what we asked him to do. I didn't want to start forcing things downfield into 8 people covering, right? So that was the game plan, okay? And so it's a combination of what the game plan was, but it's also a combination of, like I said, downfield blocks, springing people. You know, we had the ball 3 times in the open field and fell down. I saw people falling down out there today. So staying on your feet, being athletic, making people miss. I mean, it's a emphasis of where I'm at right now, because we have to become more explosive, and right now we're just not.
How do you size up the O-line play and also the left tackle rotation in that situation moving forward?
Yeah, it's going to be the same conversation as what I just said about the backup running back spot, right? It's about how those guys practice, and who practices well is going to be the ones that deserve more reps. So we'll get in, you know, today's an important practice to get in there and look at it, you know. So, you know, overall, I thought it was good, you know. You know, I think they did a good job in the run game. I think they did a good job in pass protection for the most part. I give Cincinnati credit; those guys were big and physical up front, you know, and played with a tremendous amount of effort and a tremendous amount of physicality, you know. So it was a good test for us game 1. I was very happy with the test, you know, getting tested like that. I think that's going to be good for our football team moving forward.
In the ways that you're trying to make this offense more efficient, how much more advantageous is it for you to have a game to coach off of versus just continuing to do it off of what you see week to week in practice, spring, OTAs, camp, that stuff?
Yeah, it's awesome to have that opportunity to coach off of with a victory. You know, I mean, you know, that makes things a little bit easier, clearly. But you get to a point in camp where you ain't gonna get any better. I mean, it is what it is. And we were at that point, to the point where it's like, okay, let's put them in a setting to see what this thing looks like, you know. And so couldn't be more happy for that. Excited about our opportunity Saturday against Akron. Those guys play good defense, and so it's a different defensive structure, so we can do some different things, and so that's going to be a good opportunity for us to be able to work on some things and see what we got.
You were hoping to get out of Hunter and Key in their first performance.
Yeah, I was pleased with those guys, other than the lack of explosive plays, and so we're just going to keep talking about it until we get it, but I thought those guys played, they did what I knew they were capable of doing. There's always more. I want 6 catches turns to 8 catches, 60 yards turns to 100 yards. From an efficiency standpoint, we were 11 of 20 on critical downs. I mean, that's 55%. Our goal's 50. We got down in the red zone and we punched it in twice in man-to-man situations, which we didn't do that last year. And so those guys have the ability to win one-on-ones. Very, very pleased with that. Both of them made great plays in the end zone. The one time that we had to kick the field goal down there, it's unacceptable to every level known to anybody that's watching it. You can't jump offside. That's been addressed, okay? But even if it's 1st and 5.5, you got 3 plays to be able to punch that thing in, and all I talk about is finishing drives with touchdowns. I don't ever want to kick a field goal. That goal is at about 70%. We were 66, so happy with the 2, but wasn't happy with the 1. It's just lack of execution, 3 plays in a row. Lack of execution, 3 plays in a row. Had to kick the field goal.
Did you lobby to go for it on that one too?
No.
4th and goal there?
No. I mean, it is, 4th and 6 on the 6th. I mean, you kick that, so... I was excited about the 4th and 2. Okay, I mean that's a go for it. 4th and 6 at that point in the game was not.
And 2, can you speak to Dylan's decision making there on he said it was the same play call on 3rd down and 4th down, and obviously ran on 3rd down, threw on 4th down, especially coming off the previous 4th and 2 where you didn't have the success that you wanted.
Yeah, that was a mental error on Dylan, the 4th and 2, in the strike zone, okay? That's 4-down territory. That's a go for it all the way. And I'll make that decision. Coach Rule makes that decision. But down there on the goal line, we ran that play, and it's a bang, got to make a decision thing. In 3rd and 4, he handed it, and we had to look and just called the same thing with conviction, man, and just said, just execute it, and I told him to ride it just a little bit longer, so that gave him just a hair longer, but Dane popped, and it was obviously pretty good for our football team that we punched that thing in.
Matt talked about Carter Nelson's importance now increasing. What have you seen from Nelson, through camp and then into game?
Yeah, he's just now getting his legs underneath him. I mean, he didn't do anything for 6 months, and so, he was on a rep count early in camp. Just over the course of 5 weeks, that rep count has gotten up to the point to where now he's not on a rep count. I think week 3, we were not pleased with how he was running, and he was just dead-legged and just trying to get him underneath himself, I mean, that's hard when you don't do anything for 6 months. But now he's back. I see what Carter is now. Okay, so now it's just about the opportunity. It's about logging the reps. It's about putting him in position, putting him in the game. I think he got 5 reps last week. That's not enough. He's going to get more, and I'm excited about what he can turn into.
And given your experience as an assistant and also as a head coach, do you feel that the adage of the biggest improvement comes from week 1 to week 2? Does that always hold true?
Yeah, first couple games, absolutely. Coach Rule is pretty adamant about game 1 to game 2. I've always been game 1 to game 2 to game 3. But that's 100% true. I don't think you'd see a coach, that wouldn't say that. But with the same breath, we want to be playing our best football in December, and so I think that's just a constant. Game 1 to game 12, can we just continue to steadily increase, what that thing looks like for sure.
You had a Luca Lindenmeyer, 5 for 5, 47
Are they
yards.
chanting his name in the stadium? Somebody said that there's Luke. That's awesome. It's his birthday today. Happy birthday, Luke. He's a good football player, man. I mean, I sat up here in front of you guys last year in November and said that I thought he was a good football player, and his reps increased, and now he knows he's the guy. now he knows he's number one. He's playing like it, and so he has the ability to get open. He has the ability to catch it. He has the ability to get it upfield and get us first downs, and then he holds his own in the run game as well. So good football player, man. He just keeps getting better. All right, thank y'all.
How y'all doing? Good.
You started that game pretty fast. You had a couple of quick tackles right out of the gates. Were you kind of amped up for that when you came out of the tunnel?
Of course. I mean, it was the first game of the season in Arrowhead, and I was really excited.
What did you learn out of game one, just about your defense and maybe what jumped out and kind of what you guys want to work out going forward?
I feel like we had to work on our angles and tackling, working on the perimeter right now, and just really just effort to the football. We need more effort to the football.
Is when you say effort, you mean like, how do you mean? Like awareness, like hustle? How do you mean?
All 11 people to the football.
Why do you think there wasn't as much as you would hope?
Or was it because it's a young defense? Or
Nah, guys are fatigued, so we just have to work ourselves into even more shape if you want to, because you could play like that for the first couple drives, but as the game prolongs, you get fatigued, and it's harder to do that. So,
At quarterback, it's probably somewhat unique in the guys you're going to see this year as far as his ability to run. But of course, you guys want to be buttoned up against that kind of offense. So, what do you do when maybe you're not looking at that on the scout team as much, the QB run? How do you continue to try to get better with the stuff that you struggled at on Thursday?
we just practice it. I mean, obviously, we can work on tackling the quarterback in practice as well, which Coach Rule does a great job at. He does a great job of bringing the game to practice. So that's how we work on those things.
Hey, Deshaun, for defense, you had a home crowd essentially in Kansas City. You're home now until October 11th. How nice will it be to just have the crowd behind you for another 40-plus days to kind of develop this unit?
40 days? You say 40-plus days? I mean, I'm excited for that. Being in Memorial Stadium ain't nothing like it. I tell you that. So.
You mentioned on the CDS show that there's nothing like a night game in that stadium. When was maybe the first experience you had with that, and what do you like so much about it?
My first experience was my first night game here when I first came to Nebraska. That was my first experience. Seeing the light show and stuff like that, man, ain't nothing like it. I ain't never seen nothing like it. And, I grew up in the South, but yeah, that light show is different.
I think that was Malcolm's 8th career pick. What would you say about him just rising to that moment, especially after he had the penalty on him just before that and everything?
Oh, yeah, he made for the moments. The penalty didn't affect him. He had a next play mentality. As a DB, you got to have that, Malcolm just shows up and works, man. He made for the moments. I mean, he a guy that never complains, never has a frown. He always comes in the building with a smile on his face, And so when those moments come, he's able to make those plays. So.
What's your view of that play? Where were you moving forward? Were you in the box on that play or in coverage? Like how did it unfold in front of your eyes? The game-ending interception.
So we it was we were disguising cover 2, so it was making it look like a one-high shell. When the ball snapped, I was becoming the middle run-through, and as the ball dropped, I seen the receiver, and then I seen Malk come out of nowhere, and I just had a smile on my face the whole time. I said, "Go get it, Malk," and he go up and gets it.
Donovan Jones obviously had a couple of big plays on Thursday. What is, with you guys in the secondary, what is, I guess, is your overall trust in him when he's on the field? Just how big is it to have, a third cornerback that can come out there behind Andrew and Sear and make plays also?
I mean, that just shows you the depth we have. You know what I'm saying? This DB room, we got guys that can come in and play, and I'm just excited for him because he came in and when we needed him in that moment, he made the play. And that's, you can ask nothing better for a person that comes in probably not warmed up because he's been out a drive or two, and he comes in and it's nothing changes within the defense.
Hey, Rex Guthrie is another new face we saw for the first time. What has he done to kind of earn his opportunities to get out there and get some reps early in his career?
Practice, man. He comes in every day and practice. He comes in every day and works. He watches film with me all the time. I mean, he just comes in and works. That's all you can do on this level. I mean, you can't control what coaches do at the end of the day, but you can control what you can do, and that's what Rex does. He doesn't let anything affect him. He just comes in to work every day, and he got an opportunity to play on the field.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Kenny, what was that like to just go the distance after all the injuries and setbacks you've been through in your career?
Yeah, it was great. It's been a long road to get back to where I am now. And, I mean, the recovery process is always still there, right? You know, I feel more sore after games, but I feel like being able to get through that game and, you know, attack it as much as I could was really just a great feeling and something that I look forward to keep doing each week.
Was there ever a point in your rehab or even before you got to the rehab portion of being injured where you didn't think that was going to be possible to come out and play a full game?
No. I mean, I have a lot of belief in myself and this staff here and the protocol they put me on to like get me back, the rehab and all that. I've been through it my freshman year. We have all these brand new facilities. So I think I told my dad, I was like, there's no other place in the country that I'd want to be hurt than here with this staff and with these, you know, resources that we have. So it never really crossed my mind that I couldn't get back.
So when you have this rotation, I mean, there's a lot of competition at that position, but that moment where I guess Coach Raiola says, you're going to start, you're going to be the guy, what was that feeling like for you based on everything you've experienced?
I mean, we never really had that conversation. It was more just kind of competition all the way up until the game. And, you know, Tyler's really pushed me, and I feel like my game and his game have both developed so much over fall camp and with our competition, and it just continues to get better. Both of us, you know, we talk about picking one thing to improve on each day and run and pass. And I feel like we both kind of had some of the things that were similar that we wanted to improve on, whether it's pad level, elbows in, punch timing. And, you know, just watching film together, we really both matured a lot together. And I just feel like it's been a great journey.
So when did you know you were going to start?
And play.
I would guess like that, I mean, Thursday of that week, during one of our last walkthroughs, I was just kind of in there, but we were still rotating in, so I never really knew.
Being with Coach Raiola for a few seasons, just have you seen maybe the techniques that he's been teaching really take hold with the entire unit?
Yeah, you know, it's been very consistent since he's been here that there's the technique that he believes in and that we believe in, and it's been on a journey of first he implements it, he's coaching it more, and now we're to the point where it's like it's on the players, that the old guys in the room, me, Henry, Turner, Gunnar, Justin, like we have to really harp on guys that, hey, this is the technique that we use, and we can't use any other technique because coach doesn't know how to coach that. What's on film is what he's coaching. So, you know, you get guys like Rocco and Pritch in here who don't fully, like, aren't used to this technique. You just got to keep bringing them along. Like, guys, this is, you know, you fall into bad habits sometimes, and that's fine. We're just going to coach it up and get it right. But, you know, it's kind of on the players now at this point to really, if we see it, we got to say something about it.
Did you sense a different vibe on the sideline late in that game? Like, we're going to finish this somehow?
Yeah, I mean, I've been on sidelines before where it's felt like, oh, crap, here we go. But this side, I mean, I feel like this last weekend it was what's next, and that's all they've been preaching here is what's next. Like defense, if we didn't get a pick, right? We were sitting there talking, all right, let's go 2 minute, we're on attack. We're prepping for the next thing. So, I mean, I'm glad it worked out the way it did, but I don't think there was ever like a, oh boy moment or feeling on the sideline at all.
Hey, Teddy, I'm curious. You've been to a lot of games here. How did that atmosphere stack up compared to what you've seen at your career at Nebraska and even before your career?
I mean, it felt like a home game, so that was, I mean, it felt literally like I was running out to Memorial Field. When we ran out of the tunnel, the crowd definitely played an impact. You could tell third down when we're on defense, like that's exactly what it sounds like here in Memorial. I feel like, I don't know if I could be wrong, but that stadium's built in a way for it is to, you know, keep the sound in or make it louder, but it felt exactly like playing Memorial just on grass.
How do you feel like the offense played as a whole?
Good. Obviously, there's things to improve on. It's the first week, and that's kind of what we're, you know, talking about now is, you know, we're racing against ourselves to improve for the next week, and I think one of the biggest jumps that we need to make is efficiency and first and second down. Our third down was pretty good, but, you know, as an offensive line, we want to put that on our shoulders. Like, we need to get more efficient on those downs.
How excited are you to get back out there in front of the home crowd at Memorial?
Yeah, no, I'm super excited. It's, like I said, it's been a long time since I've played it down in front of those fans at home. So I'm just looking forward to it. Going to keep, you know, prepping for Akron this week, and I'm just excited.
Were you at that Akron game back in 2018?
I was not. No, I wasn't. I was, I can't remember, maybe a basketball game or something. I don't know. I was somewhere else, but I remember it getting rained out and being pretty bummed out.
From Gunner and Elijah and Turner's, they kind of rotate through, and how do you guys as an offensive line kind of support those guys as they're going through that position battle?
Yeah, I mean, it's the same you know, mindset that me and Tyler took to it is just each day find something to improve on and improve on it. And that's the best way. Coach Rules talked about, like, if you want to improve the team, improve yourself first. And I think as an offensive line, we've really taken to that. And that same group, those three guys are doing that. It's tough competition each day, and you see it on film. You see it in the meeting rooms. And it's great to see because I know that the entire line's getting better as those guys get better, you know?
Were you the farmer in the video for the uniform?
That was me, yeah.
How did you get cast in that? You were good.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, no, Sierra's agents from Hollywood were, you know, hitting my phone and all that. No, we were going out to practice, it was practice during camp, and Rule called me over, and I was like, oh gosh, what'd I do? And I come over there, and he's like, you drive a truck, right? I'm like, yeah. He goes, all right, we have an alternate video coming out, and we're gonna have you drive a truck in it. I was like, okay. So ran home, and they told me get farmer clothes. It's like, I'm from Elkhorn, Nebraska. I went to Elkhorn South. Don't have many farmer clothes, but let me see what I can do. So went home, got a quick fit together, drove out there, and, you know, went to this guy's house, picked up a old Ford Ranger, didn't think I was going to fit in it. I did. And then we just went and drove some laps. So that was pretty fun. And then I texted all my buddies back home. I was like, guys, get ready. And they're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I can't say. Just be on the lookout. Your guy might be in Hollywood very soon.
Anything else for Teddy?
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
You strike me as somebody that's probably pretty hard on yourself when you're grading. But how do you feel like you played, and like what's a fair assessment of how you played in the game?
Thought I played fairly well, good enough to win the football game. There's a handful of plays I wish I could have had back. The fourth down, trying to do too much, and then a couple other plays throughout the game. But other than that, I thought we played to our game plan, and we knew what they were going to try and do to stop us. So we just we counteracted that and got a whole lot of completions and let our guys do the things they do with the football.
Is it difficult sometimes to be patient and just throw the 5-yard play? And is that hard for a quarterback to not necessarily go over the top?
It is hard, but the way that Coach Rule runs his program is the discipline of everything you do. So I think that carries over to the football field. So when it comes to it, I'm not trying to be selfish. We're just trying to win the game, and so that's what it was, and that's what we did.
Have we encountered very many schemes like that where teams have played the 3-high look, where it essentially shuts down the deep option for most of the game?
Your question was?
Cincinnati, have you played very many games like that?
I played in high school. That was my last game. I actually lost against it. So, yeah, I know that defense very well.
Does it test your patience, though, a lot more?
Yeah, it definitely does. It's more of like a prevent style defense. So I know, obviously want to push the ball down the field, but, at the end of the day, you can't force things. You got to just play what they're playing and giving you.
What do you think about your receivers and tight ends' ability to be big play threats in this offense?
I love it. They all can do special things with the ball. As you could see, Luke did some special things, and he wasn't the one being talked about in the offseason, but we knew Luke was special. And it's fun watching all those guys do their thing. They know the game of football, so they kind of know when the football's coming to them. But all in all, they all run very hard, and when they get the ball, they make plays happen.
Coach Holgorsen was talking about wanting to make more explosive plays. I mean, how do you kind of do that? I mean, what's your role?
Yeah. My role is to read the defense, and if it allows, to push the ball down the field, and if not, get the ball in play and let my guys do catch and run. They do that very well. So, like he always says, routine plays, and routine plays lead to X plays, and X plays lead to first down, and first downs lead to touchdown. So that's kind of how it rolls.
From Teddy today.
Yeah.
When you got here last fall, goes down. From what have you seen just from the way he battled from last year to where he is today?
Yeah, Teddy's a special human. He's the epitome of a Husker football player. He's been through everything, injuries, new coaching staff, and just to see him stick it through and come out the other side strong. I love having Teddy over there from a standpoint of he's an elite football player, but at the same time, he's an even better person. He's going to hold everyone to the standard, and you kind of know what you're getting out of Teddy every single day he comes in.
Coach Will said yesterday that your coaches just give you a lot of freedom, maybe more than a lot of QBs across the country. What does that look like for you? Why do you like that?
Yeah, it's a lot, especially early in the week when you're trying to get a game plan going and kind of piecing things together. But, I love it. It's basically gives us the best ability to make plays happen. Obviously, for order that to happen, our guys have to be focused and know what we're doing. So, kudos to them. It doesn't mean anything if I know it all and they don't, but they know everything that I'm thinking. So, it's pretty cool to have that much freedom. I just want to make sure we get in the right play and then execute and move the football.
Did you expect that there'd be a game this year where you might have to get the ball to Emmett 32 times? And what did you think about the rhythm that he got into as the game went along?
Yeah, I think Emmett sees the field at such an elite level of, sometimes you don't really know why he made the cut, but, he trusts it every single time. And every time he hits it, if it doesn't hit, he just keeps trusting it and keeps going. And even in the pass game, I think he's a big weapon. We got to keep him upright, keep him healthy, and he's a special player and a special piece of this offense.
Coach Rule talked yesterday about Arrowhead was this awesome experience. Yeah. I mean, you had Travis Kelce, you had Taylor Swift, you had Mahomes, but there's nothing like playing at Memorial Stadium. I mean, what can you kind of add on to that?
Yeah, I'm excited to be back home. It's a special place. I know every time we practice in the stadium, it's even though nobody's in there, it's a special feeling. And to kind of run out the tunnel and tunnel walk and the whole experience of a game day here is second to none in college football. And that's why I think there's no reason why, you know, the top recruits and then top players in the country shouldn't want to come play at a place like this. So they'll see what the atmosphere is like, and obviously when we run out there to kind of just play even keeled and keep attacking the way we've been attacking.
How many times did you practice that fade ball to Isaiah in practice, throwing that one specific one?
That play, never thrown that one in my life. My thought process behind that was, you know, we were kind of in like a 2-minute type situation, and the clock was running down, and Holg was getting the play in, and it was kind of going in and out on the mic. So, you know, I kind of heard the scratches of the play, and I was like, you know, we're gonna roll with it, and brought Jacory across, and they kind of were still scrambling, but the clock, there was a lot going on, and I just look out there and it's 1-on-1. I'm like, I'm gonna trust my guy to make a play, and you saw exactly that. He went up there and made a beautiful play.
Improvise on that, or how does it?
No, that's built into the play. It's just never really a thought of, all right, we're gonna throw it to him. So it was just an in-game instinct thing that kind of he had, and he went and made the play.
Do you agree with the notion teams make the biggest jump from week 1 to week 2? And if you do, why do you think you'll see that this weekend?
I do think so. You know, getting out there the first game, you don't really know what to expect, especially with the new guys playing together. Even though we do everything together in the off season, the game setting's a little different. So when you get out there and you kind of get the flow of the game, and you kind of see, I miss here, I miss there. As the season goes and you get more film on yourself, teams will start knowing how to kind of attack you. But I think early in the year you kind of just make those adjustments and roll with it as you go.
How much football were you able to get to watch being home all weekend?
I watched football all day. I got up, I recovered for a couple hours, and then I went home and sat on the couch and watched game day, and I watched football all day. I felt very non-productive, but I got a head start on Akron that night, so that was good. Yeah. I watched Texas, Ohio State. I watched Clemson, LSU. There were so many games. I was just sitting in my basement just watching the games. This is great. It was great day.
What were your takeaways from the Akron defense?
Yeah, I think they play very well. I mean, they have a chip on their shoulder when they play, especially they lost last week. So, going back to that jump from week 1 to week 2, you just know that there was a lot of things that obviously that they messed up on defense that they'll get fixed and they'll be ready to come play us here. So we got to put our best foot forward and get ready to win and do what we need to do for this game.
Did you ever get to connect with Mahomes on Thursday and just talk with him?
Yeah, I didn't. I ran out of his pregame, and then he kind of went up and did his thing, which is fine. I mean, I don't know. You guys probably would have liked that, maybe.
What was your reaction to Bonner?
Oh yeah, no, that one breaks my heart. That guy is a special part of not only the offense but the entire team. He's a guy that comes in, doesn't complain at all. He does everything you ask him to do, and he keeps us going, and just the way he plays, it kind of motivates guys around him. So we're sad that we lost him. Obviously, it's been some motivation, play hard, because we know that guy would. So it hurts, it sucks. I can't even watch the clip when he got hurt just because of that's one of our key pieces. So we look to fill that piece, but it's kind of hard to do that.
Thanks, Dylan.
Thank you.
Thank you. Turned 22 today.
Obviously, that was a career game for you. Just kind of the start of your goals this year. I mean, how pleased are you with just the role you kind of established going into this year right now?
Yeah, it was a great game. It was fun being in Arrowhead and playing in front of Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce and just Arrowhead. It was super loud, and it's kind of the role I knew I was going to be in, and I got ready for it in the spring, and then all the training, all the reps that I've had over the spring and the summer has just made me prepared for game one.
Did you grow up a Chiefs fan or following the Chiefs, just being from this area?
Not really, actually. I didn't really watch a whole lot of NFL. My first NFL game was 2 years ago with my parents, Miami versus the Dallas Cowboys. That's the only NFL game I've been to, but I've been watching it a lot, yeah. So it was cool just to be there because it's the loudest stadium in the world, so it was loud. It was loud on Thursday.
What was Coach Holgorsen's message to you guys, both after the game and even today, about being more explosive and making more plays?
I mean, it's still routine plays, making guys miss, and we just need to keep doing what we do, locking on the fundamentals, and plays are going to hit. We just need to execute them.
Holgorsen said you're playing like a guy who is #1 on the depth chart, of course. But how much confidence do you feel like you have out there right now?
I have a lot of confidence. I mean, this is my 8th year playing tight end, pretty much. I've seen a lot of things. I've seen a lot of movement from defenses, and I remember 2 years ago playing, just being like a blocker and playing with like my head down. I missed a blitz, and then Coach Rue on the sideline was yelling at me, and in my head I was like, I'm never going to be the reason that a coach is going to be mad again, and just focusing on my preparation. And preparation builds confidence, and Tuesdays and Wednesdays are what lead. Like, these are physical days, and what I do on Tuesday and Wednesday, it's going to show up in the game on Saturday, and just locking in on my preparation every week.
You guys working 12 personnel a few times? How do you feel like your teammates blocked in that situation? It was mostly Harbor, so how do you feel like you did?
He good. It was his first game at tight end, and it's a lot. There were some big, like Cincinnati had some big ends. Like, they weren't their traditional like jacks. They were 300-pounders. Like, those guys were hard to move. But for first game, he did his job. I mean, he didn't freak out. There was a couple looks that we didn't see, like we weren't prepared for, and it's kind of like a miscommunication on some things. But great first game for him. A lot of good things to build on.
I guess just Bonner going down on Thursday.
It sucks for him. I love Wood. Came in with Wood. Been with him all 4 years, and just saw him on the sideline on the bench, and it was a great moment. All the receivers came over to dap him up, and I was just sitting there, and I asked if the receivers wanted to join me in praying for him, and we just prayed for him on the sideline in the middle of the game, and that was a cool little God moment in the middle of the game, just us being there for Wood.
Almost the last of your kind in coming to Nebraska as a walk-on and turning yourself into a starter. Not that it can never happen again, but it's a lot more difficult in the age of roster limits. Like, what kind of a badge of honor is that for you to have that?
I mean, it's pretty cool. I've really felt like a walk-on my first 2 years, but I really didn't, because like all the love like Nebraska has, and I knew like once I came here, whether I would never play or I became a starter, I wanted to finish my career here, just like the love that Nebraska has, the great fans, the great people here. Like, even today I'm getting a bunch of texts like happy birthday from random people I don't even know, and that's just the kind of love Nebraska has, and that's why I'm gonna stay here and finish my career here, because they took a chance on me, so I'm gonna give them all.
Bullet making a 53-man roster a couple weeks ago. Does that continue to motivate you too, knowing that he was in your shoes?
Yeah, I remember working out with John when I was in high school with Yano, and just the work ethic he has. Like, he wasn't gonna like not let himself reach his potential. Coach Rule talked about how he was sitting in his office thinking about not coming back for like a 6-year and quitting football, and now he's on a 53-man roster, and that's just a testament to how hard John has worked, and just if you put your mind to it, like you can achieve anything.
About just the excitement level of, and how special it is for a night game at Memorial Stadium. What makes that unique, that environment?
Night games at Memorial, they're the best. I can't wait. Husker Nation's going to show out as always, and I have something little special planned after too, so I'm excited.
I just see Dylan Groves, a quarterback from the Pinstripe Bowl to Thursday. Like, what was different? What was improved about the way that he ran the offense?
Just confidence and poise. Coach Holgorsen talked about poise all week, just being us, just being ourselves, and having the confidence to be ourselves. And when the winning moment came, that we didn't try to revert to anything we never done before, but we were just who we were. And just his confidence of reading the defense and making checks and then changing the play to something that's better to that defense. He didn't do that last year, so now you can just see all the film, all the work that he's done, everything that he's watched is showing now.
How many times did he do that?
I don't know, a couple, 5 or 6.
Luke?
Thanks, Luke.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.